Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm so sorry about
Yeah.
what you're going through. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Uh, I think no one, no parent, no mother, because I'm the mother, should have to go through the loss of their child. This is a different grief that I've ever experienced in my life. Like I've lost my grandparents, I've lost relatives, people close to me, friends. But I think when it's your child, it's so different because no one prepares you that your child is going to cross over before you do. It's still hard for me to accept that, but I know I will at some stage. And I think because it's been a bit drawn out, because he actually passed at work quickly, and there's still the investigation's finished, but it's made the time of I guess letting go when we come together and mourn at the funeral has been drawn out. So now the funeral is a couple of weeks away, and that'll be where I think everything will come to the surface and when I'll say my goodbyes. But at the moment, it's really hard hanging on to when's he going to send me a message? You know, the messages he used to send were like, love you, Ma. He used to call me Ma. Love you, Ma, and a big red heart. And I'm never going to receive one of those again. There's the funny little jokes. He had a really quirky sense of humour. And he'd send me these funny little jokes that he'd find on Instagram. And then there's hey, Mum. He would do things like this. Hey, Mum, come parachuting with me because he knows I'm scared of heights. So, and I said to him, I will, and I will one day. And I guess this is the regret, and this is for anyone who you don't want to, I think, live with regret, and I won't. But I do regret that I didn't do it, and I know I'll get over that. Is parachute with him because on my 50th birthday, he asked me, and I said yes, and I didn't do it because I was scared. And then I haven't done it. Sorry, but that will pass. I know. So I guess if you have a loved one out there and people that you love in your life, you really need to tell them because you never know when that's going to be the last time. When I read through the messages, there's two calls that I missed from him that I never replied to. So I'm thinking that moment of hearing his voice is not there. And then I found a video of the last time we were together, which was a few months ago, and it was recorded. We purposely orchestrated the recording because I was actually having a conversation with my niece, and he came in behind me. And I happened to save that for some reason. So I have that memory of his having fun and him joking around. And I actually posted that on my social media and put Tears in Heaven because I love that song, and
It was
I
so
just wanted
beautiful,
to
that post.
cry. Yeah, and I just wanted to cry the tears for that's the last time that physically in the physical world. But I really do want to share this, and I want people to understand the power of our super consciousness and how these deep connections that we form with people are real. So, for those of you who don't know, and I've written an article, I've written two actually for Meditation Magazine in the past a few years ago about my passing and having the near death experience. Now, what happened in part of that, I'll cut it short because they can also always check in with Meditation Magazine and have a look at the articles. Um, Part of the crossing over, once I was outside of the room, I was actually in the cosmos and I was communicating with someone who I now know was Buddha, or a collective consciousness, and part of that was Buddha, which is why I'm in China actually. Um, but I, as I was letting go and my body was in pain and still in the physical body, that communication of consciousness that was coming through was telling me to let go, and I knew I was dying, and I said no. I don't want to die until I see my children and say goodbye. doctors and nurses trying to keep me alive, I actually went into the cosmos. And my 3 children were there. They were given to me. So they did give me my children to say goodbye. And then I said, I was talking to my children and I said, don't ever fear death. It's so beautiful here. I know I've crossed over and I know I've died, but I'm okay. Everything's fine. And just don't fear anything. Just live your life and be happy. Now, when my daughter phoned me, which was the 10th of April, a couple of weeks ago, she said that he had crossed, and of course the immediate reaction was I screamed and then I'm crying. And then I said to her, while I was still crying and we're having this conversation, I said to her, he's here with me. He's here now, he's talking to me and he's saying, Mum, please don't cry. And he said, I want you to be courageous and strong. And he told me, like, you know how to do this. And it was like he was there in the room as a person. And then it was a friend I was talking to that was consoling me through my grief. And they said, remember you told me a similar thing when you died? When you died, you said a similar thing. You were talking to your kids and you were saying things. And I went, wow, he's repeating back to me what I said to him in 2011 when I had my NDE. The only thing is he's crossed over. His is permanent. He's lived his life and was his purpose, what he did. And I just wanted to share that with everyone because I want you to know that even whether we're living or they've crossed over, they're still here with us and they're still communicating and can still help us with what we need. And he comes to me every day. And I know there'll be a day where I won't feel him. And then those feelings of unhappiness and grief will slowly turn into happy memories of when he was here. So it will change. But he's there. I can feel him all the time. He's coming in my dreams. He's coming every morning when I wake up. I'm having tears. I'm going to get emotional because I say to him, I'm not ready to let you go. I know I have to get ready, but for now, you are helping me by coming every morning. So I'm not ready yet. But I know I will prepare myself for that letting go because in spirit there is no time. So for him, there just is the moment, which is what we should all live in while we're living anyway. But and this happened with my grandparents, they haven't like come through until recently for maybe 2 or 3 years, and that's what I don't want to let go of. I still want him to come every day, but I know I have to let all that go. So that's, I guess, when we talk about grief and loss, grief and love, and they do coexist because it's the love of the memory of that person that has crossed over that we hang on to. And it's the memories that do eventually turn into joy. But I guess we need to, for the love to come through, we need to exist with the grief. Otherwise, how will we know about the love? Because a lot of anger and resentment and why didn't I do it this way? And yeah, it's really multiple feelings and emotions at any one time. Going through what I'm going through at the moment. I think it's 3 weeks since it happened, or not even 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
I think it's 2.
So it's still very raw, but I think coming to terms with that love and grief do coexist is a way forward for me. And I hope by sharing my story, it will help others. And one of my friends in Bali, I just spoke to her about some do's and don'ts. And then all of a sudden I'm saying to her, will you help me create a booklet for someone who's grieving their child, and let's record it. Every time I feel something or feel pain or I'm having an emotional release, I'll just send you voice notes. And she's keeping them on file. And when I get back, we'll start working on that. So that's helping me with moving forward, because what I'm finding is, although people mean well, and I know they're in their own shock and going through their way of grieving, but when someone says to me, oh, when my grandfather passed away last year, this happened for me, and I know what you're going through. Well, actually, you
I
don't
don't.
know someone's grief because you can't live their grief for them. And plus, no parent or mother expects their child to go before they do. So I think it's our grandparents, even our parents, we get ourselves ready because they've lived their life, and we get ourselves ready. Or if someone's sick or unwell, we still don't want them to go, but we know there's time, and how much time they might be here for. We've got a chance to do things with them. But when it's sudden loss of a child, it's so different, and it's like the tears run down my face, my cheeks, and every teardrop falls into my heart, and my heart just rips apart with pain, pain, heart-wrenching pain. It's like, yeah, and remembering giving birth, doing funny little things with him. He was such a kind, compassionate person. Like, he was always giving and trying all he wanted in this world. And I guess this is going to help me move forward and on my mission in life. All he wanted was peace and harmony in, like, family or friends. If ever there was an upset or an argument, he'd be the first one in there to bring in the peace and bring in the solution. How do we, manage this conflict and come up with a solution to move forward in a positive way? And he was that kind of person, and that's what I want him remembered for. Yeah. So sorry,
Well,
Laurie.
you're doing a good job of keeping
Thank you.
keeping exactly what he wanted you to do, to continue to be strong and move forward and create peace and love. And that video you posted where you put the tears in heaven, um,
Yeah.
you could see the joy in his face. He was a
Yeah.
happy guy.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful life.
Yeah.
How old are his kids?
8 and 11.
Oh,
Yeah. Little Levi, Shaun passed on Friday the 10th, and Levi's birthday was on the 14th, on the Monday, and they were looking forward to picking Dad up from the airport and then going and celebrating Levi's 8th birthday. And, well, that didn't happen, but the sadness in that was my son worked away, and when he would come home for his week break, he'd work away for 2 weeks and then come home for his break. And all he wanted to do was be with family and take his children. He used to take them camping, fishing. He was a really keen fisherman, loved being by the ocean and fishing. And he's been like that since he was a little boy. He loved the outdoors and getting into mischief as a child. And then as an adult, he was like a Crocodile Dundee or something like that, or Steve Irwin. Just loved nature and animals. And yeah,
he was brave. He
so
was strong,
yeah.
and he gets a lot of that from you.
I never realised that, Laurie, when he was here, but now he's gone. I think, wow, he actually did some amazing things. And one of them was just peace and harmony and love each other. Tell each other every day you love each other. And yeah, and that was his mission. And he served his purpose on earth. And I guess as his mother, is here to continue that legacy and keep going. I'm already doing it, I know, but I'll do it in a different way. I've got this strong feeling in my heart that it's going to be done very differently now because he's there with me and guiding me. He told me to actually, that when I was talking to my daughter, that's something I missed on the phone. He actually said to me, Mum, go to China. Go to China. And, you know, it took all my strength, Laurie, to get myself on that plane. I didn't think I'd be able to do it physically, emotionally. I was exhausted. I'd hardly slept for days, but I did it. And when I got out of the car at the airport, I thought, I didn't even know what I've packed. I hope I've got everything. And I thought, all I want to do is lie down because I think that night I had about 4 hours sleep and the rest of the time it was crying. And so I was physically exhausted as well. And I got out of the car and I'm walking up the ramp at Bali Airport. And if anybody's been to Bali, they'll know that what I mean when I say that ramp. And all I heard, Kerry, Mama. So lots of young people call me spiritual mama. And I turned around and it was one of my young friends who calls me spiritual mama. He said, where are you going? And he didn't know, so I had to tell him. And I said, can you please help me because I don't even know how I'm going to check in. My mind is just everywhere. So anyway, him and his partner helped me. I'm so grateful. It was like, spirit sending me something or the universe just saying, here's someone to help you through because you're exhausted. And everything, they did everything for me, even to get me to the other side of the airport. So through immigration and things like that, it was all done. And just beautiful. AirAsia were great because as I boarded, I was crying. They asked me what was wrong, and I told them. And I got 3 seats so I could. I said I've hardly slept. I'm exhausted. So there were spare seats. They allowed me to have 3, and I bought a pillow, and I went to sleep the whole flight. So yeah,
Well, you call
people
them
are
your
amazing.
angels up there. You tell them that they have the best job in the world. They're angels in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that often, and on the way back, I am looking forward to my assistants here in China. I say to them, you know, when I fly, I'll be saying, looking at the sky, going, I'm up here with the angels, and Shaun's out there, probably waving at me, looking at me. But
Smiling.
yeah, yeah,
So proud of
and
you.
yeah, the flight attendants, I often say that you have the best job. They don't think the people that the flight attendants I speak to go, why do you think that? Oh, they're surprised that I'm saying that because I said all you need to do is look out the window and you're flying with the angels. Yeah. So thanks you for reminding me of that, Laurie. These little reminders really what get me through. And I'll just add, I've had over 250 comments and messages on my Facebook, which was amazing. And I have tried to respond to all of them in a very kind and compassionate way because that's what's keeping me going. Some people might comment with, I have no words, but if you need anything, I'm here. And I respond with, you don't need words. Oh, and what do I need? And I say, you're already doing it. That's all I needed to hear, that you're there for me. And that's all I need right now. Yeah.
Well, it just shows you what a wonderful impact, loving impact you've made on everyone that's ever known you or spoken to you. I've only spoken to you twice before, and I feel like we know each other forever,
Yeah.
and we always
I know
will.
once you get that connection, I think, Laurie, that alignment with that energetically, it's there forever. You just know that's your person or that's your tribe or that's the person that you vibe with. And Meditation Magazine has, and Kevin and his story has always fascinated me and how he went out there and he's making this happen and he's making a difference to the world. And it's so important that for me that I get behind this too and do what I can to help him or help the magazine as well and people like yourself, you know, it's such a beautiful opportunity to help share information and come together and know that there's a community there. that you can seek assistance from and are there to help and support you. Yeah, especially through meditation.
That's why I really want you to be part of it. So when you get home, I sent you an enrollment link where you can enroll on a donation basis with nothing. You can just enroll. And that way you
Okay.
get to interact with the community. We have a Sunday Sangha every week. It's probably not a good time for you. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is 12 p.m. noon Eastern time. I don't know
Okay.
how that equates to you, but we can always do another time, or you'll have the opportunity to meet everyone and talk about whatever courses you want to do or things you've written.
I,
And the affirmation deck, we'll do a collaboration on that, and we'll just work
great.
together to try to make Kevin's dream and Shaun's dream of the world being a better place through peace and love and
Oh,
kindness,
that's beautiful.
meditation. And it's like, we're all in this together, and let's do it. This is the time. We're getting more enrollment calls than ever, more interviews than ever. I lost track of my schedule this week. I lost control of my schedule and I ran late and I missed one, and people are either rolling with it or they're not. And I kind of feel people who aren't rolling with it maybe aren't meant to be in this community because it's life.
Yeah. And I always have in my prayer, not that I've done a lot of that since I've been here in China, but I have a prayer that I say, I do teach it in my teachings, where if you ask the universe, because you've got to, it's like talking to yourself. So your hand on your heart, you're automatically there. And you're talking to your inner spirit, which is part of the universe. And I say, please remove any person, place, or thing from my field and that's not in alignment with my purpose, my service to humanity. And it's always to yourself first and humanity, and to help me do the work and move this forward. And you can make your own up with, you can use the words that I've just said, doesn't really matter, or you can add to it or add some things, change things. And it's definitely heard by the universe. And this is why when people are removed or, or they didn't do that or they didn't show up, it's because they're not meant to. It's the universe's way of saying, that's why that's happening. Or you've missed your schedule or whatever, and now they're reacting to that. It's because they're not in alignment, because we know anybody that's evolved spiritually, we know it's all about love and kindness. And if someone misses a schedule or an appointment or didn't do this right or that right, there's just this beautiful understanding. Let it be, let it be, let it go. It's perfect the way it is. And once we get to that place, we just quickly evolve, keep evolving. But it's when people react in a certain way, that's what causes disharmony. Frequency lowers and they're not in alignment anymore with what we're putting out there. So that's sort of how it works. That's my take on it. Anyway, and I've been connected with a Buddhist monk here in China, Chasi, such a beautiful soul. And he doesn't speak English, but we had a translator, so we were able to communicate that way. Lots of tears, but he's just a beautiful soul, and he's on the same page and frequency, and we just connected. This deep, deep connection, so beautiful. And I think if we're going to do this work, it is a collective. It's not about one religion or one person or one company, or it's all coming together in the same frequency and wanting the same vision and that same outcome for the beautiful planet. And that's where we create this beauty from the heart. So every thought we have, feeling in the heart, the thought is the feeling in the heart, and we go to the heart. We are connected to Mother Earth, we're connected to the universe, and we can create from there. So for Kevin, I think the more of us that promote this work of the Kevin and the magazine and the story, and like you said, with Shaun, the more people that come together and spread this love, it will grow and it'll filter out to the planet. That harmony, that inner peace will become coming from the collective. It's going to evolve very quickly and it helps the planet. Yeah.
I'm so excited we're going to be collaborating, and we can do a weekly meditation to air live and share it with your channel and Meditation University and Meditation Magazine. And I want you to be among the first to do a video for Meditation University where none have been posted yet. It's new. Kevin gave it to me in January. He said, "Here, Laura, you do this." I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I have a team of people who are volunteering, and they're mostly people who couldn't afford to pay the full price for tuition. So they're on work study scholarship or discount or whatever you want to call it. And they pay
Mm.
what they can, and they're some of them do graphics and some write and some can do administration and some computer. And he's blown away at the outpouring of love that he's receiving because nobody's asking for anything.
Yeah.
And he never would have asked. And it's amazing. So, it hasn't been like a money-making thing because of all the financial aid and discounts and scholarships and the love and the mission. But everybody needs to make money, and we're asking people for their support to
Yeah.
promote the university and the magazine. Um, because it's a beautiful experience. Everyone who goes through it is
Yeah.
changed by it. Everyone finds the way that works for them, what resonates with them, their people. We find our people through it. And that's how I met
Yeah.
you. I answered one of your messages that you sent to Kevin because his wife was having a baby and he wasn't able. And look at the friendship that's grown out of that. And
Yes.
I told
That's right.
Kevin that you told me I should come to Bali, that you have a place that I could rent. He said, "You should go." I was like, "I will. If I could be teleported there, I'd be there this weekend. I'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll
save up
keep
my
that.
miles."
Yeah, put that on the agenda for the future. Um, I've got Michiko Hayashi from the Emoto Peace Project. Are you familiar with Dr. Emoto's work
I am
in
not.
Japan?
I'm not.
Well, Dr. Kevin would be, I think. Dr. Emoto was a researcher that discovered that water has consciousness, and he talks a lot about meditation as well. So,
Oh, so
but
maybe
there's a
you
lot of
do a talk with him, an interview with him, and we air
Yeah,
it.
I need to do with an interview with him about that because I also support the Emoto Peace Project in Tokyo, Japan, and Michiko is the successor, I guess, of Dr. Emoto's work. She was his assistant, personal assistant for 11 years, so she now continues and travels the world, uh, advocating and sharing his work. She's also affiliated with Dr. Bruce Lipton. Are you aware of Dr. Bruce Lipton?
Yes.
And his
I
work,
was
yeah.
following him
So
on the Heart Coherence.
yeah, so he was a big fan of Dr. Emoto's work. So there's and then it leads into like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, and there's a whole thing here coming together. I recently did, before my son passed, I just finished a training with Site K, and I happened to mention to the facilitator that I've met Bruce Lipton in 2019, and he's such a beautiful soul, and we had a lot of fun together. And she said, I'm a really good friends with him and his wife. And we had this whole thing. Oh, let's get together and create something in Bali and bring Bruce to Bali. And she said, yes, we can make that happen. There's certain protocols, of course, but that's something else in the future. And I thought, wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely if you and Kevin could come and Bruce Lipton and Michiko Hayashi from Japan and we create something amazing in
That would be
Bali?
amazing. That would
But
be amazing.
Psyche is why I was telling you that I went off on a tangent there, but Bruce Lipton is an ambassador for Psyche and Psyche training, and I must say, doing it absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad I did it because it's going to help me with grief. And there's certain components of it in life. It's about changing and reprogramming the subconscious, bringing in consciousness, learning how to use our consciousness in a powerful way to bring us into, they call it super consciousness. Some might call it the higher consciousness, but it's to get that filter, that portal opened up so you understand when you're communicating in the spirit world, in the spirit realm. So it's an amazing, I can see why Bruce got behind it. It's an amazing event. So anyway, long story short, so I said, why don't we do something in Bali with that as well? And I'm yet to reach out to Yoga Barn, because what happened was, in the midst of all this, then the death of Shaun. So yeah, and his memory will live on in that, because the connection that I have with my son is in spirit world, which is super consciousness now. He's no longer in the physical realm, but we live every day in the physical, and the physical body holds the super consciousness like a vessel, and the super consciousness is always there, never leaves, it's eternal. Yeah.
So Psych K is Psychk. I just Googled it.
Yeah. And then just K. Just Google it
I
and
did.
read
And
it.
there's one with
Actually,
Bruce Lipton from the 12th of April of last year.
mm.
So I love this. It's like, this is my life now. I'm just like seek out this stuff, and I'm
And see,
so
like it's
fortunate.
like a tapestry. Anita Majami always talks about this, like a tapestry unfolding in front of you. And here's there's going to be this amazing picture form, this vision is all coming together, and it's coming from here and there and there and there and up there, and then it's going to create something amazing for the planet.
I listened to one of her books on Audible recently. I think it was Sensitive is the New Strong, or Highly Sensitive People, whatever it was. And she had a near-death experience. She talks about.
That's why she was the first person I followed when I had mine, because the story was, I was telling myself, I can't be the only one that's had this experience. So I just Googled, this was way back in 2011, NDEs and near-death experiences, and it led me to Anita Morjami. And at the time, she was just starting off with sharing her information, and Wayne Dyer discovered her, listened to, someone sent it to him and said, you should listen to this lady, her story. And she actually had cancer, stage 4
Yes,
cancer.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I'm new to this world. I just started listening to it and I can't get enough. Yesterday, I listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza and Jay Shetty on YouTube.
ah,
It was
yeah, and
great.
Anita's just amazing. Her presentation that I went to, and you see the medical, she shows you the medical results of having the cancer, and photos of herself when she had the cancer, and then what she tells the story about when she crossed over, who was there, how her father, because she was brought up a strict Hindu, and she said her father telling her, don't believe everything you hear, just go and live your life and be free. And when I think about that and what Shaun had said to me, saying it's very similar. So they're up there and they're telling us, don't fear anything, just go and live your life and be happy. And we think we have to be doing all this other stuff. We don't. Yeah. Just
That's
do
what we
what
learn
makes you
with
happy.
meditation, to
Yeah.
have
That's
acceptance
right.
and gratitude, and to really just look at what's happening right in front of us.
To be present and notice what the mind is doing. We become the observer of, is that thought really true? Is it telling me something that's making me feel good? Well, if it's not true, because the life purpose is we're here to be happy and live peace, and there's enough for all. Live in our abundance, have that communication with the higher higher forces or sources, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it source, some people call it God, some people call it angel, some people call it divinity or divine, some people there's many names, many facets. Quantum field, Jody Spencer called it. He's just talking about energy. We are energy. That's our spirit, mind, body, spirit. As the spirit is eternal. The physical body is just a vessel that holds the spirit together. It's inside us. It's everywhere. Science now has proven it. Neuroscience is amazing. It's proven this. Dr. Bruce Lipton is like he's like the god of this information about ourselves and how they are spirit. So, and that's our vibration, our frequency. The cells are always moving and, sourcing information. But that's who we are, and that side of us is eternal. It never stops. Yeah.
I'm going to be 73 in a couple of weeks, and it took me till I was 70 to understand what the mind did to the body. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful
And it's
that I'm still
okay.
here. I didn't think I would still be here 2.5 years ago. I didn't think I still wanted to be here. And
Yeah.
but community, meditation, love.
Yeah. Laurie, listen to Louise Hay. She talked, when you just said that, it reminded me of something she said, like, she later on in life she discovered the spirit and the spiritual side and the positive affirmations and how they would change things and lots of other things. But she talks about when she learnt to dance at 70 and different other things in life before she passed over. She never stopped. She was just doing things and learning all the time and never stopped. And just an amazing woman. But she has an amazing backstory also.
She does. I love her. But I
Mm,
kind of stopped living for the last several decades. I was just on autopilot like so many other
mm,
people. And
yeah,
now that I've woken up, I just want to notice the beauty and enjoy and have some happiness because I didn't have a lot of that in my life. I had moments, but I've
yeah,
never had peace inside. And it's amazing. And I realized that many of my old friends, they're not in my life anymore. I don't have old friends.
yeah.
I have new
Yeah,
friends.
and that's what happens as we evolve. If they evolve with you, they're still there. If they don't, it means they still haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're different because you're evolving, and you don't match that frequency anymore of, say, down here. As you evolve, you come up because that's what evolution is. You're moving forward, coming up. Uh, But if they are evolving and learning, they'll either come with you or they won't. And we just need to go, well, that's how it is. We don't need to hold guilt or shame about. I know I did when this happened to me. Um, I felt guilty. I haven't called them. I haven't been out with them. And eventually, once I learned this, I thought, I'm not meant to. That was then and this is now. They're not evolving. They're still there and I'm still here and everything is perfect and the way it is. It's not I'm better than you or you better than me. It's that's the way it is and it's perfect just the way it is. Yeah.
I feel that happening in my life now, and I've been like trying to resist. But I'll tell you about that another time.
Resistance. Oh. But Laurie, I'm gonna have to go. I hope that's okay. They're waiting for
That's
me
fine.
and I
But
am
why don't we
reaching.
end with a little prayer meditation dedicated to Shaun's memory and
Yeah.
to your grandchildren and your daughter-in-law and your family. I can't
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what you're all going through, but you're all going to be together and celebrating, Shaun. And I'd love for you to share something that can be part of your recordings of the things you want to remember, the things that brought you joy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. So if anybody listening to this would like to join me, taking a deep breath in and out, in through the nostrils, exhale through the mouth. Drop into your heart, breathing the energy of Mother Nature, the air, oxygen, the prana, the ki, the life force energy, they are one of the same. Breathe them down to your beautiful heart. I'm going to also dedicate this to anyone that feels a loved one, no matter who it is, that have crossed over. Bring in a beautiful memory of them and hold it in your heart. Imagine them in front of you right now and you're giving them a hug. And you're putting your ear on their chest and listening to their heart. And you start to feel the sensations of love and peace and harmony. You start to breathe it into your body, making the connection. It feels real because it is real. You're noticing their face, their body, their laughter, their funny, quirky little things that they do. The memories are in your heart and will live there forever. And now imagine yourself saying to them, I love you and thank you for all the memories you gave me while you were here. I love you, I love you, and thank you. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you, Kerry. I love you so much. I'm so grateful
Thank
to
you,
you.
lovely. You too.
And
I love you too. And I love that we've connected in this life and we're going forward and we're going to create beautiful things for people, the planet. Yeah, for everyone. Yeah.
make the world a better place,
Yeah.
just like Shaun would have wished.